Hello and welcome to week 5 of the Unconventional Man. How are you guys doing? Hanging in there. This is the halfway point. And as you are probably realizing, the hump is real. Yes, halfway through anything, things get hard. You got to dig in, you got to stay focused. You've got to remind yourself why you came on this journey in the first place. Trust me, it's not just you, it's me too. I'm over here reminding myself as I'm figuring out how to edit and create and move outside of my comfortable space. Life would be much easier if I stayed in the studio and in the gym all day long. Okay, but we can't do that. We've got to stretch and move to grow. So, okay, what do we want to remind you guys about this week? The big thing is you got to practice continuous recalibration. There's a danger of getting lost in the pattern and either giving up, as in I can't get it, or giving up, as in I got it. Either place is a bad place to be. Spend your time focusing on what is important, which is the skills. The shapes are concepts that will evolve for you. You'll learn how to do them better. So always be looking for a way to do them better. The big challenge for me is from this space to get clear on how I can help you the most. And my decision on that has been to focus on the skills. So I'm going to keep drilling in the skills and the fact that they can improve. They do continuously get better. So you've got to keep looking for that. So what are the 4 skills? Scoop, pulling your belly button in, cinching in, getting your waist tighter. Perch, which is your sit bones, wrapping them together, which is the key to straightening the legs. Cinch, which is your rib cage coming in closer as you squeeze the ribs in. And pinch, which is the back of the shoulder blades coming down and back. In every single movement, those are the skills that you need to continue to focus on and get better at. Okay, so we didn't do a lot of this at the beginning because, well, you were excited and you wanted to get started. And frankly, it was really tough to lay out what you're going to get yourself into. But now at this point, you should have a good feeling for stretching, rolling, Pilates, what they are, how they fit in your life, and maybe what you need to do. So we are going to step back during this week of assessment. And these are 4 things that you guys must do. You must actually pull out the computer, the pen, the paper, whatever it is, and write it down. Okay, so number 1 is you got to answer the question, what do you hope to accomplish with this program? What specifically are you trying to get better at? Something short-term, something middle-term, something long-term. Hopefully in the long term, it's the idea of making this a habit and maybe understanding how to apply the skills. Short term, maybe it was some type of pain that you were trying to get over. And middle term, well, something in between there. It could be a performance goal. It could be, well, whatever it is, that I want you guys to literally do the work and write that down. Question 2 is, what must I improve to accomplish this? So at this point, you've had some experience with the techniques, and you should have a better idea of where your sticking points are, where you experience trouble. And so I want you to get clear on the obstacles and the challenges that you have to overcome. This is really important, number 3, what must I stop? Sometimes to get a new habit in, you have to let go of something. And old habits they don't really die. They have to be replaced. And so when you come up with the thing that you are going to stop, you also need to come up with the thing that you're going to replace it with so that you can hold that balance. The final piece of your goals assessment is to look at your perfect week and reassess. You need to get clear now because by the end of the program, you will need 40 minutes to get through Pilates. You will need 20 minutes to get through your shapes and your rolling. And so you have to have that built in a way that you can accomplish it. Okay, so let's talk about the lessons for this week. So breathing was triple up, triple down. And so this represents the second big technique. So we're doing these lessons, you guys are practicing things, but ultimately there are techniques that I want you to walk away with and know how to apply. So technique number one was maximum exhale, maximum that's backwards. Maximum inhale, maximum exhale. And we talked about those. And then we did triple up, and then we did triple down. And so learning how to sequence them together, which is sometimes, as in, I'm going to do 3 down breaths, 3 sets of down breaths, then 3 sets of up breaths. Or sometimes it is 3 down, 3 up. I'm giving you these things for you guys to play with. It's a breathing technique. It's the same thing, just you can use it in different ways, okay? But the idea is the up breath is for you to explore expansion. Expansion in the rib cage. Find a way. First, you do have to learn how to breathe out through the front, the bottom front of your belly. But the middle part of your chest can expand. Learning to find the back and the sides and the top. All of these areas, as you inhale, have room, have space, you must learn to grow. And then the maximum separation, which is the feeling of your diaphragm coming in together and sinking, and it almost should feel like it's peeling itself away from the inside of your bones. Focus on feeling your bones separately from your flesh as you practice breathing, and that will be the most useful way to help it be a tool that you can carry it into other things. Okay, so this is our overview of our shape. So the shape we did this week was the upward dog shape. And so I thought this was the perfect time to solidify the concept that when you're practicing stretching, you've got to do it in repetitive sequences. That's honestly one of the main reasons why yoga as a thing has grown so rapidly. Regardless of whether you believe in it or not, there's a physiology behind stretching the body and breathing deeply. That's what we're doing, right? So we're not doing a yoga practice, but I'm teaching you guys how to align your bones for a stretch. And then the reason what we've been doing with the breathing is so you can bring it into this. Okay, so the selection of pictures I have here are different ideas and ways for you to play with the postures. So on the far left, that's versions of sitting on your knees, okay? And then you have some versions of cobra. And if you have somebody to ever pull you like that, that's such an amazing feeling. And then there's the downward dog feelings, postures. And of course, you can go through the one-arm version, which will really make you stretch your upper lats. Or you can use the topper version where you can bend your knees and press your heels to the floor. And so upward dog as a stretch, as a shape, honestly is a lot of work. And it takes a while before it really starts to feel comfortable. So honestly, that's something you're looking for. It will feel comfortable when you have a good range of motion in your shoulders, right? So in that upward dog, you're trying to stretch your lats that way, right? Pushing your chest down. So once you get open in your shoulders and in your elbows, that movement becomes actually quite comfortable. So that's what you're looking for. Okay, the big part to bring this up is, so I introduced it here because it's a hard stretch to hold, and you will want to. The only way you're going to get good at it is if you do it, go and do something else, come back and do it again. That applies almost to every single one. So that's why I'm leading you into this sequential way of practicing. So the next big part of the sequential way of practicing is your breathing. So every breath is a repetition. So what do I mean by that? There's breathing with a movement, as in like knowing that, to rise up and to inhale is one thing, right? And if you're moving and breathing, your breathing is oxygenating the muscles, which is supporting your breath. So we do that in cardiovascular strength and in mobility training. Okay, so in mobility training, there's a special part where you get to breathe at the end of the movement. Okay, and so you reach the end of a stretch, and that's when you start to use breathing repetitions. And as you inhale, you already know you're expanding and stretching all of the fascia in the body. And then as you exhale, you get to practice releasing the tension and falling deeper into your stretch. And so it's so important to your growth as a mobility person, as an unconventional man, okay, to learn how to breathe and move at the same time. Rolling the upper back. So I think with this one, like we talked about this in depth on the last, the shapes of the upper back and how they're connected. So I really just wanted to include some shapes to tie everything in today. So in picture number one, you can see the upper back muscles, but specifically I want you to see how the shoulder and the arm muscles tie into the upper back muscles. So that's why we're saying, when you open the upper back and you rotate and move the arms, it's going to support creating more range and space in the upper back. Okay. In picture number two, the first one, you can see the lats, the big muscle, and you can see how that is very much connected to the arm and wraps around the upper back. And so that's why you've got to stretch that one. And so you can see now how when you lift the outside edge of your shoulder close to your ear, that stretches that lat muscle. Okay, now imagine you're on the ground doing downward dog and you're stretching and pushing. So what it does is it creates a unique tension stretch for that muscle, which is very ideal. The second picture, number two, it gives you an idea of how the muscles on the front of your body are tied together. So what you want to imagine is that as if I was to contract those muscles, I could pull all of my limbs into the center. Now, the irony of that fact is that even though when I lie on my back, it does that action, the truth is when I need that action, it's not when I'm flat, it's actually when I'm extended. Okay, so maybe this will tie it all in together. So in the Pilates 5, 6, 4, we started to do seated forward stretch. We started to do neck pull. We did the Swan series. All of those were different versions of back extensions. We did back extensions with our tummy down. We did back extensions with our tummy up, okay? So to tie it all in, there's a tent in the middle here. And the way the tent works is that it wants to be straight. And as we bend it, there's tension. Now the tension is on the top and the bottom, right? And so if this is flat, this part of me are my abs, right? And so as I do a back extension, what I do is I create tension through the front of my body with my core muscles. And that will help lift and get space to our spine. Okay, that's a really important concept to feel. So when you're doing any of these extensions, you must equally squeeze the front, the scoop, and the ribs as you do the back, which is the perch and the cinch. Okay, and as you balance and strengthen those out, it'll help you open and stay long as you articulate through your spine. You are on exercise 23 now for your Pilates course. And so it should be taking you less than a half an hour to do it. So your tempo and pace is really, really important because we do have 17 more exercises to go. And the idea is you should have something that can be finished in 40 minutes or less when you are complete. Okay, so I'm going to wrap up today with a reminder to do your homework. Do it. Yes, please. It's really important for you, for me, for the feedback, for our success. We're in this together. Until next week, thank you guys so much, and be unconventional.